Hello everyone and welcome back to my opinion. And India have beaten England by 4 wickets in this first ODI, and let's now go into the review. Starting off with the 11s for England, they surprisingly went with only one frontline spinner in Adil Rashid. I thought Rehan Ahmed would play, and they didn't play him in Chennai in the second T20I, and in this venue where the ball does turn, they should have played it. I'm surprised they didn't. They owned three part-time off-spinners alongside Al Rashid, those being Liam Livingstone, Joe Root, and Jacob Bedell, who surprisingly bowled in this match. And for India, I'd still stand by my statement that Arshdeep Singh should play at least one match across both series, where him bowling in an ODI 10 overs along with Mohammad Shami ahead of the Champions Trophy with both bowlers, especially considering the venue for the next match is Cuttack, which is friendly to the batsman. And against this England batting lineup, if you're giving a test to Arshdeep Singh and Mohammad Shami to bowl 10 overs, then I feel would bode well, especially since, from my view, I'd look to secure the series in the next match, and then in the last match, I'd look to experiment. Kuldeep Yadav is returning from injury as well. Mohammad Shami is returning from injury. And I feel despite Harshit Rana getting 3 wickets in this match, he may struggle in the next one. So they may not look to do this. They may think Arshdeep Singh is a lock-in. We don't need to include him in the scheme of things. But I would still say play Arshdeep in at least one of the matches to see how he goes bowling 10 overs alongside Shami before the Champions Trophy starts. And Josh Butler won the toss and chose to bat first. Now, from an Indian perspective, I'd said bowling first at this venue, where it's a tough venue to bat on, was the correct call. And that's how it played out for India, despite them not winning, despite Rohit Sharma not winning the toss. For England, if you look back to the 2023 World Cup encounter in Lucknow, another venue where, in that case, whether the seamers or the spinners bowl, they will get assistance. It's a tough venue to bat on. And England bowled first and restricted India to 230. In that attack, you had Chris Woakes and David Willey, who bowled the ball in the same area, and they extracted wickets because of that. Then you had Moeen Ali and Adil Rashid. Now you've got four more so frontline bowlers there. Where is it outstanding? No, it isn't. But can you bowl them for 10 overs each on that kind of a surface where it's difficult to bat on? Yes, you can do. Whereas the problem here is, can Bryden Cast bowl 10 overs in India? No. Can Saqib Ahmed, if he bowls 10 overs, is he going to inspire fear in the opposition? No. Jofra Archer can bowl 10 overs, but at times he can go for runs, and after starting well in this match, he then started going for runs. Adil Rashid can bowl 10. Liam Livingstone in the last one when he's in bowling, he's been going for runs. We saw that in this match as well. Jacob Bedell hardly bowls, and then you've got Joe Root. So a lot of the options in this squad, can they bowl 10 overs, especially in Asian conditions, subcontinental conditions? No, they can't. So whether England bowled first or batted first, they would have struggled anyhow. I thought it'd get easier to bat under lights, but the ball turned significantly in the second innings as well. And had England scored a bit more and played Rehan Ahmed, then they could have at least competed more in this match. I'm surprised they didn't play Rehan Ahmed, and towards the end, I'll once again be suggesting an 11 that I think that they should go. And now, starting off with the power play, the England openers got off to a rollicking start. Mohammad Shami, I thought he didn't bowl too badly in the power play. I think in three overs he went for 15 runs. And Harshit Rana went for runs in his first and third over. And England was 75 without loss after 9 overs. And unfortunately, that run-out happened to dismiss Phil Salt. Now, I talked about Ben Duckett's game sense and lack of it in the past and in the recent past, where you saw in the T20I series, in the third T20I, England, if they were 87 for 2 in 10 overs, they would have won that phase. Knowing Butler has been dismissed, you know the rest of the side doesn't go too well against spin. You got 3 fielders on the boundary on the leg side, and you hit the ball straight to them. You're a set batsman, you're gifting your wicket away. In this case, Phil Salt's just been run out, and in the same over, he looks to play that pull shot and is dismissed. So there's one way of just looking to hit everything, but when you've got a start and you know with the team that you've selected, apart from Joe Root, they're not too far away from collapsing, then playing that shot as a set batsman I thought was very poor once again. And England went from 75 without loss to 77 for 3. Now, when Joe Root was dismissed by Jadeja for 19, I thought the floodgates would open, and even then they got to 170 for 4. Now, they could have made a good scheme of things from that point in time. Jos Buttler and Jacob Bedell were playing well, and it was a bit of a gift, that wicket for Akshar Patel, where it was a poor delivery, and Jos Buttler unfortunately couldn't get the connection to get it for a boundary. 170 for 5. I knew then and there that they wouldn't get too many runs from there, and they were dismissed for 248. So England had their opportunity in this batting innings to capitalize on a tough surface and score a lot more than they did, but some poor application. There were 2 points, 175 without loss, 2. Despite that, you're 170 for 4. I thought the Indian bowling effort was not good, despite the fact that they bowled out the opposition for a low score. The bowling effort was not good, and from an English perspective, they could have capitalized on that. They unfortunately didn't from their perspective, and that's why they were bowled out for that score. And if we're looking at how this innings went, Jacob Bedell, he played well today, in this match, but he's not a power hitter. And we saw in the T20I series, when he walked out to bat lower down the order, he looked to swing the bat and it was dismissed. In this case, he's walking out at number 6. And yes, he scored 51, but had he continued batting, would his progressive scoring rate have increased to threaten India? I don't think it would have done. Even if England had scored 280, 290, they do not have the spin strength to trouble India. India would have chased it down. However, I feel Jacob Bedell on this side, him batting at number 4 would be much better, as you'd have Joe Root and Jacob Bedell to sort of set things up. Jos Buttler can do that to an extent. And then you've got the others who only look to play one way, because when the wickets have fallen, then you're sending someone who is not a power hitter out at number 6. He's a classical player. Is he going to be able to threaten the opposition from that point in time? I don't think he would do. He's a very good player, but I feel they should use him better in both the T20I and the ODI sides to see the best of him. And you're looking at some of the shots played. Bryden casts a straight ball, swings and is bowled. The problem here is that you term these players all-rounders, but they're not demonstrating the game sense with the bat, so that's one skill taken away. Can he bowl 10 overs in India? No, that's another skill taken away. So they're all-rounders who can neither be selected with the weight of contribution from a bowling perspective or a batting perspective. I spoke about Jamie Overton. Since Liam Livingstone has been failing, can you send him out at number 6 or 7? No, because can he bowl 10 overs? No. Can he bat to the capability that you'd expect him from Livingstone? No. So you don't have many options there. You can look to bring in Jamie Smith, but then you'd go for a bowler short. I don't feel that Jacob Bedell and Liam Livingstone can play in the same 11, and I'll be suggesting my 11 afterwards. And now for India, if we're looking at the bowling figures, Mohammad Shami, I thought since his return, he's looked slightly rusty with 1 for 38 in 8, a decent workload today. I thought he went okay. Harshit Tana 3 for 53 in 7. I would say again, he may struggle in the next match because of the nature of the venue. If he does well in that match, then since Bumrah is ruled out of the Champions Trophy, then he may be in contention to get in as a replacement. Akshar Patel went for a few runs in his first over, then came back very well. Kuldeep Yadav, was it an optimal performance for him returning Karachi? No, it wasn't, but I'm sure he will get better. And finally, since the 2023 ODI World Cup, we saw somewhat close to the best of Jadeja as a bowler, 3 for 26 in his 9 overs. In IPL 2023, he took 20 wickets, which he has not had that kind of a success bowling in T20s throughout his career. And he had an outstanding ODI World Cup as well. after that, you saw in IPL 2024, he went for runs a lot of the time, didn't bowl 4 overs in India. Then in the T20 World Cup, he hardly bowled. Whenever he bowled, he went for runs. And in the Boragavaskar Trophy, he also didn't have a great time with the ball. In the home series, apart from the 1 5-wicket haul, he didn't have too much of an impact as a bowler. So when you've had these series that haven't gone well for him, I thought he should be picked for the Champions Trophy squad. But with the way that he is bowled today on conditions that are conducive for spin bowling, it was great to see him deliver this kind of performance. Hopefully he can build on it because his name is in the Champions Trophy squad and they're looking to play 3 spinners with the 2 all-rounders being Akshar Patel and Ravindra Jadeja. And finally, Hardik Pandya, once again, you could say by the 6th over, he only went for 22 runs, but on this service with wickets falling, I don't think that was too much to write home about. In the last over that he bowled, 15 runs where Jofra Archer took him for boundaries. Once again, bowling slow deliveries. I won't harp about that point too much in this video because I've done it in previous videos. They've got to have that conversation with him because there's no need for him to be afraid to be hit. If he's afraid to that he'll get injured, then they can consult biomechanical experts. But with the manner in which he's bowling most deliveries under 130 kph. I don't think he's afraid to get injured. I think he's afraid to get hit no matter who's batting. And that's got to be something that is dope. And now for Indian batting perspective, Jaiswal hit a few boundaries before he was dismissed by Jofra Archer. And Rohit Sharma, unfortunately, once again, a bit of a nothing shot dismissed. And I'm a big fan of his. However, now I want both Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma to play the 2027 World Cup. And if Rohit Sharma plays the Champions Trophy, that too as captain, and this form slump continues, then there'd be so much backlash that would he play the 2027 World Cup, it would be unlikely. And given the conditions in South Africa and a lot of the venues when batting in the power play, it's a very difficult task and you need that experience and class that both Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma possess. So this may be controversial and I've been putting tweets about this as well. Since the Boragavaskar Trophy, my captain for the Champions Trophy will be Shreyas Iyer. He's won the IPL recently. He's won a couple of domestic titles as well as captain. And I feel there shouldn't be a conversation of him being left out of the side when everyone's available because of how well he has done. And my 11 for the next match would be Shubman Gill and Yashasvi Jaiswal to open the batting, Virat Kohli at number 3. And depending on entry point, Shreyas Iyer and KL Rahul at 4 and 5. I'll get to that very soon when I continue with the match review. Hardik Pandya 6, Akshar Patel 7, Ravindra Jadeja number 8, Mohammad Shami 9, Arshdeep Singh 10, but they could also go with Harshit Rana and Kuldeep Yadav number 11. Cuttack is a venue that assists the batsman. However, if they want to test Harshit Rana in that situation, then playing him ahead of Arshdeep is not a bad call. And they would look to play Akshar Patel to get the extra batting depth since he's also a lock-in for the Champions Trophy 11, so there's no need to test his performance. And then you can make changes for the final ODI where you can test out players who are auditioning for spots in the 11 or auditioning as replacement players. Now getting back to the in-match or the match review. Despite Shreyas Iyer played well, I would say he should have walked out at number 5 in this match rather than 4 because in my view, his entry point should be no earlier than the 12th over. You could say in this match that he played well, yes. In my view, was there much of a challenge he was facing? Is there much of a challenge you'd be facing when it's such an outdated thought process? You stand at short leg thinking that Indian batsmen will get out in that fashion. They did that in the 50 T20I as well, did that now. Shreyas Iyer rightfully departed that delivery for 6 over mid-wicket. He then played an uppercut as well. And then the short leg was, I think the short leg was taken out after that. So, was he facing as much of a challenge in this match? No. And I'll say this again. His supposed weakness against the short ball is very overplayed. We've seen that been brought up a lot of the times. And we've seen that when Jofra Archer was bowling fairly quickly, he had no trouble in facing the short deliveries. So I'd say the short ball weakness that people talk about with regards to Shreyas Iyer is very overplayed, and we once again saw that. Since the entry point was before the 12th over, I would still say KL Rahul should have walked out at number 4. He could have provided that solidity and could have dragged things until the 12th over. And then you've got Shreyas Iyer, who's a destructive player, to walk out to bat. I think we would have voted better, even though in this match he played well, but very well done from him. And then Akshay Patel being sent out number 5. Now, yes, he played well, expectedly so. However, I don't understand this left-hand, right-hand theory in countering. They didn't do that before during the ODI World Cup, where you've got a predominantly right-handed Indian batting side. You've got Jadeja at number 7 as the first left-hander in the side. And did they have to send him out early against the left-down spinner? No, because Indians are still the best players of spin and white ball cricket. And we've seen what's happened in red ball cricket, but I feel that's completely independent to how the white ball side is going. We saw how they played spin in the ODI World Cup. We've been seeing how they've played spin in the T20I series. They are the best players of spin and white ball cricket. So bowling a left-arm spinner, bowling a right-arm wrist spinner, with how it was turning square today, they still weren't perturbed. Is it going to really make a difference whether you send a right-hander or left-hander? I don't think it would have done. So since KL Rahul is a designated number 5 in the side, I would have sent him out, although it's not a surprise that Akshay Patel played well. And so that is on this match for India. They ticked a lot of boxes. Mohammad Shami returning from injury, got a good workload. Kuldeep Yadav, I'm sure he bowled his way back to full match sharpness. Even though 1 for 53 and 9.4, you expect him to go better than that on a turning surface, but I'm sure he will go better as he bowls more. And Harshit Dana, after 2 overs where he was carted for runs, I thought 353 in 7 is a decent performance from him. So overall, a good performance from India. And in terms of players who they could try if they win the next ODI, then what I would do is I'd compromise on batting depth. I'd leave out Akshay Patel for the third ODI because there's nothing for him to prove, and I'd bring in Varun Chakravarti. And this may be unfair, but a competition between him and Kuldeep Yadav, if Kuldeep Yadav is not fully fit, to see who will take that pure spinner spot alongside the 2 all-rounders. That would be a sort of a competition play that I'd think of. And also, Rishabh Pant and KL Rahul to play in the same 11. If Shreyas Iyer plays well in the next match, he's got nothing to prove. So you've got both those 2 to compete for the number 5 spot. This is how I would go. And now for England, this is the 11 that I think they should go for in the next ODI. So this is my 11. There's one player who's not in the squad, so not in the next ODI, but this is the one player who's not in the squad, but I think they should get him in for future series. Because, I'll say this again, Jacob Bedell, Liam Livingstone cannot play in the same 11 because Liam Livingstone is walking out at number 7. That means you've got to be a bowling all-rounder. Is he a bowling all-rounder? No. Is he doing over bat or bowl now? No, he isn't. So I feel Jacob Bedell should bat at number 4 to provide solidity alongside Joe Root at 3 because he's not a power hitter. Him walking out at number 6, we saw in this match. Was that 51 of any consequence? No, it wasn't, because had he continued batting, would India have really felt a threat as his scoring rate, progressive scoring rate, would it have increased by much? I don't think it would have done. So I feel instead of Liam Livingstone, they should bring in Liam Dawson, who I don't know why they left out. He's been bowling well in the SA20. And I feel he's more reliable with the bat than Tom Hartley as well, who I mentioned in the T20I series. So they could bring him in at number 7. Then you've got Bryden Cast, Jofra Archer, Adil Rashid, who can all bat. And despite that, you've got another bowler who can bowl 10 overs in these conditions as well. So you've got Jofra Archer, Adil Rashid, and Liam Dawson. Despite that, if you're playing Bryden Cast, can he bowl 10 overs? No, he can't. Sageer Mahmood, as I said, would you be scared of him bowling 10 overs? Probably not. There is one option who they've moved on from. That is Chris Wokes. I feel he's someone who, is he a natural death bowler? No, he isn't, but a lot of the time he has taken the responsibility, and I'd still say in tough conditions, in Lucknow, for example, Chris Wilkes can still do a job for you. So I've put him down to be as someone who could be in contention. But the problem that England have is there's a difference between bowling 4 overs in a T20I and 10 overs in an ODI because there's an increased durability that is in demand. I mentioned Luke Wood in the videos about the T20I series. He can bowl 3 overs up front in a T20 power play. Can you bowl him for 10 overs in an ODI? I don't think so as of now. Then you've got Bryden Cast. Can you bowl him for 10 overs in an ODI? No. Can you bowl, I think it's Jamie Overton for 10 overs? No. Can you bowl Sam Curran for 10 overs? No. So you've got many bowlers who can't bowl 10 overs, and the ones who are bowling 10 overs, will Jofra Archer be injury-free, and therefore will he improve? Will he be more consistent? I don't think so. You saw the moment Shreyas said hit the 6 in his 5th over, he started going for runs and was not bowled towards the end either. Saqib Mahmood is someone who's going to scare you. No, he won't. So the bowlers who can bowl 10 overs aren't at the levels where they can be threatening on a consistent basis, and there are a lot of bowlers who can't bowl 10 overs. So that's a problem that they're going to have to deal with. Right now, as far as this series goes, with Liam Dawson not in the side, I feel Rehan Ahmed should play ahead of Liam Livingstone. Right now, he will score more runs and he will be a second frontline spinner alongside Adil Rashid. Jacob Bellew took a wicket on this turning surface and he only bowled 3 overs, and yet he's a backup for Liam Livingstone in the Champions Trophy because of his bowling. I don't know how that's going to go because, as I said, he's not a power hitter. And secondly, he bowls less than Livingstone. So that's on the England side. They've not given themselves the options on this tour, and I feel for the Champions Trophy either. And let's see how things go for India and England in the rest of the ODIs. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, share it with your friends. But this is my opinion. Watch.